Hi, Kirsten. I'm Jenna. I know we've seen each other once in a live, but I like to introduce myself in personals. So, long story short, I'm a psychic medium. I'm an intuitive tarot reader, and I use my gifts to be able to help people in my readings. I'm also a published author 2 times over. So, if you're interested in learning more about me personally, the link to both of those is going to be in the description box in my link tree. So, if you'd like to read more about me on a spiritual level or things that I've experienced, how I developed these gifts, that's going to be in Stepping Stones to Destiny. And if you're interested in romance novels, I published one around Thanksgiving. That one is The Alabaster Enchantress of New Orleans. All right, so the first time that I encountered you, I wasn't able to pick up a lot of information. I do feel like it was a little too soon to be able to channel the information, not because she wasn't ready, but because when you're in a deep state of grief, I have to rely on your energy coming through for me to be able to channel your loved ones in spirit. So when you're in a deep state of loss and grieving, it's much harder for me to connect the energy because spirit's at a very high vibrational frequency. I'm the medium, so I'm the in-between, which means I have to elevate to meet them and they have to lower their vibration to meet me. So when I'm relying on your energy and you're in that very deep state of grief, that's a very low vibration. And so I can't match the energy sometimes when it's super new. So that's why I asked you to wait a while until you felt at a better headspace and that you felt ready to try and connect again. So I'm glad to hear that things are hopefully improving for you and that hopefully you are starting to deal with the grief and to make some progress going forward in your healing. Okay. So the first thing that I picked up was a song. I do pick up music in my readings quite frequently. That's one of the ways that my guides help me to connect messages. So I always tell people in a reading that if the songs are unfamiliar to you, or sometimes even if you know the song, that you go listen to it and that you read through the lyrics because there may be another message for you in that song, in that piece of music. And that's one of the ways that Spirit likes to communicate. The easiest for me is through songs. So the first song that I picked up for you is called Elastic Heart by Sia, S-I-A. You will get a copy of my notes. It will be included with your link to the video, so you'll have this to look over everything. So don't worry about trying to remember everything we go over. I did get a few pages worth of information today. So the first thing that I saw was this really beautiful iridescent white light, almost like glittery or shiny white light, and it looked like a wall of this light. And then I see a female energy that passes through both sides of the wall very effortlessly. She just kind of floats in between. I feel like this could either be your mom's energy that's coming between the veil, coming to visit you, could be in dream states, could be at other times, and that you may soon start to feel her presence or you may notice her in dreams. But I feel like she's coming through the veil back and forth very effortlessly, and it's a very beautiful, almost like glittered effect that I can see. It's iridescent, so it almost shines, real glossy in color. It almost has like a texture to it when I look at it. It's really interesting. The next thing that I see is that this woman like steps through this field of light. It does look like a wall, so I would imagine that this is the veil. Sometimes I can see the veil and sometimes I just see through the veil, so it depends on what they want to show me. This could also be your energy, that at night in your dream state that you're actually crossing that plane, which isn't uncommon when we dream, that we astral project and we travel in our sleep. So that could also be that you're doing things on the other side when you sleep. A lot of us do. You could also be connecting to her in your dream state, and I feel like as you process through your grief, the further you get away from the actual loss, the easier it will be for you to connect to her energy. All right, let's see, what else did I get? So it looks like the veil between the living and the deceased. I do feel like it could be you in your dream state, that maybe you're connecting to other realms while you sleep, which is very common. They show me a woman with you. She has brown hair, a round face, and her eyes and teeth are the first 2 things that I noticed. So I would say that I have a pretty round face. I feel like her front 2 teeth are kind of dominant in her smile, not in a bad way, not in a negative way, but but like that you would notice that in her smile, and that she has very large, beautiful eyes. And when she smiles, like she gets very, her cheeks kind of rise up and kind of her eyes squint, and that you notice her smile and her eyes first. So that's the first two things I noticed about her. She is a brunette. She's got brown hair. Let's see. I also feel like she could have lived near mountains. I can see them when I connect to this energy. So I feel like I'm in a rural setting of some sort, but I feel like there's mountains that I can see from wherever this area is. They also made me feel like I was connected to a place that starts with the letter M. Could have been places like Montana, Missouri, or Minnesota were the three that came through. Let's see. So any of those could be significant. I feel like the letter M is also significant. Could be to do with a place that she's from, a place that she lived. Her first name could start with M other than the word mom. I feel like it could have been something like Mary, Murphy, Marjorie. I was getting an M sounding name. Let's see. I also feel that this woman was either raised with lots of brothers or that she was kind of a tomboy. I do feel like she was a really tough woman, and whether that was like her upbringing, that she had a lot of males around her, or that she lived kind of a harder lifestyle. I do feel like she was kind of one of the boys, so to speak, not to say that she didn't have softer feminine qualities, but I feel like the majority of the time that she was kind of rough and tumble, that she was a fighter. She was definitely a tough cookie. All right, so she does have a softer side. I just feel like she usually was in kind of like jeans and t-shirts, very low key. Maybe she didn't wear like a lot of makeup or anything like that, but I do feel that she was kind of a little bit of a tomboy. Spirit also gives me neck and shoulder pain, so that could have been yours or it could have been hers. I feel like kind of the base of my neck into my shoulders, so that could be like tension, that could be pain from something, could be due to maybe an old injury, things like that. They also show me a dog. This dog looks either black and white or like a charcoal color. I feel like it could either be like an Australian Shepherd or it could be like a blue heeler. And then they gave me the name Bo, B-O. Could be spelled differently, but that could have been like this dog's name. Could have been a person's name that maybe owned a dog like this. She also is saying that she was unable to speak before her passing. She says that this could be due to either injury of some kind or that she may have had to be like intubated, like had to have tubes in her mouth to breathe prior to her passing. I also get throat chakra pain. Sometimes I get that when somebody's having difficulty communicating, things are left unsaid. Could be something to do with the neck area being injured, thyroid, cancer, breathing problems. She's not really giving me a whole lot other than that, but I do feel like the throat area or the neck itself was somehow affected prior to her passing. That I feel like she was maybe unable to communicate, maybe she couldn't speak for some reason. Again, it could be due to like if she had to be intubated or if there was some sort of injury to her throat in some way. So it could also be like things left unsaid. So maybe somebody didn't get to say goodbye, maybe it was something sudden, however that resonates for you in your reading. All right. She also says that she heard everything that was said to her, even though maybe she couldn't respond. She says that she heard everything. So I feel like there was people gathered around her bedside. I also feel like she was unable to speak back. And I do feel like she heard everything, even though she wasn't able to actually speak back. So she wants everybody to know that she could hear what was being said. She just was unable to respond. I also felt short of breath, so I don't know if there was something going on with her lungs as well. It cleared up for me quickly once I acknowledged that I could feel that, but it felt like very difficult for me to breathe. Again, I feel like she may have had issues with her throat, with her lungs, her chest area, that all of those could have been affected prior to her passing. Let's see. Spirit shows me what looks like an old-looking book. It looks like it's either bound in leather or it's like tan in color. I feel like the edges of the pages are a little bit worn or tattered. It doesn't feel like it's a large book. I would say like it's maybe this big. I feel like I see it sitting on a small table, like an end table somewhere. And I don't know why they showed me this book, but it's somehow significant as well. I don't know if this is like a photo album. I don't know if this is like a family heirloom. But the book is somehow significant. Maybe somebody purchased like an old collector's item, picked it up at a thrift store. I don't know, but I can see the book and they show it to me for a reason. So I had to mention it. Let's see. So it's either in leather or its cover looks tan in color, tan or like a light brown. Minnesota may also be somehow of significance. Again, states with the letter M may be significant to her. Then they show me Minnie Mouse, like the old cartoon character, and reference that someone has a mouse ears hat or liked Minnie Mouse for some reason. It could be like somebody visited Disneyland, maybe they purchased the hat as a souvenir. Somebody has something to do with Minnie Mouse. I don't know, but I give you everything that comes through. She also shows me a baby blanket that looks to have pinks and yellows on it. I do feel like this was a handmade item, so it could have been like crocheted, knitted, or a quilt. But I do feel like somebody made this for a child. So this could be a new addition to the family that's coming. I also feel like March or May is significant. And I didn't write that down, so I'm going to. So March or May could be significant for this child. Could also be that somebody's born in March or May. That may be significant. So 3 or 5 could be significant. Could be 3 months, 3 years, 5 months, 5 years. Could be the month or the 3rd of a month, the 5th of the month. Those could be significant. So those are written down. Let's see. So this could be a new baby that's coming into the family that this blanket is for. Could also be that somebody made this for a child that was coming. Okay, so they also give me the word adoption. So somebody could be adopting a child. Could be in that time frame, March or May. Could be that the child was born in March or May. But I do feel like there's a new addition that's coming into the family, or it could be that somebody has been adopted. It could also be that somebody's thinking of adopting a pet. So things like pet adoption. She shows me a compass. Says that it always points north. Compass is to help you to find your way. So like if you're lost in the wilderness somewhere and you have a compass, the compass will point north, meaning that it will help to find you, help to guide you out of where you're lost, to help you be found. I also feel like it's a reference to your intuition, that your intuition will always guide you to where you need to be. So we really want to listen to our intuition and where it's telling us to go. And I also feel like someone might have a compass as a tattoo. So that could also be of significance, or someone could be thinking about getting one as a tattoo. But I clearly see the compass. I can see the needle pointing north, and then east, south, and west on there. I feel like I see it in, I feel like it's in black and white. I don't feel like it's necessarily in color. It could be, but I feel like I see the directions, and I feel like I see the needle pointing north on the compass. I can also see Mom wrap her arms around you and then kiss your forehead. I feel like she kind of wraps you up in a big hug and kisses your forehead as a way of showing that she's here, that she loves you, that she's always still with you, and that she wants you to know that she loves you very much. And I feel like she gives you that as comfort. I feel like she does these things to you often, but I don't know that you notice these. You may kind of feel a strange sensation, get goosebumps or chills randomly. I feel like that's her energy that's coming towards you, and so you may feel physical sensations at the time that she does those things. You might feel like a tingling on your forehead when her energy encounters yours as well. She's also with an older male who could be her father. If her father's passed on, could be a grandfather, but it's an older male energy that's coming through. He's kind of stocky build. I would say he's not a very tall man. I'd say he's under 5'10". He also has a very round face. He's got white hair, but he's really thin or balding on top. He may have like a mustache or a goatee, a little bit of facial hair as well. Let's see. He's also got kind of a large belly on him, like he's bigger in the middle of his stomach, and he may have facial hair. This is who's with her. He has his arm around her, like he's got her in his arm, and they're like side by side smiling together. I don't feel like either one of them was super tall. I feel like him especially, he wasn't real tall, but I feel like there's not a big like height difference between the two of them. I feel like they're pretty close in height, that they're both kind of tiny people. Let's see. And then they started singing to me. I could hear the word posy, and then I could hear the old children's nursery rhyme song, ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. So I don't know if maybe some child that you know has maybe sang that recently, but that's an odd one to come through. I also know that that song was originally about like the plague. I want to say like the bubonic plague. So if you live in like a rural setting where there's like what do they call those, like not groundhogs, prairie dogs, that sometimes those can carry plague and things like that. So I would really watch out and make sure that you're not encountering anything that could be carrying that, especially come spring. So those are definitely some things I would look out for. Other than that, I would say that mom's really coming through trying to communicate that she's at peace now, that she shows me crossing through the veil regularly to come visit you and the rest of the family, that she is with an older male that could be her father or grandfather. And I feel like she comes through very regularly to give you assurance. She also comes through giving hugs and kisses for affection. And I feel like the more time that passes, you will start to encounter her in dreams, or you'll have odd things that happen that you know it's her, that it's like, oh, that's such a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's her energy coming to you. And I also feel like mom, and if this is dad or grandpa to you that's with her, I feel like they were also very close in life. And so like if he's already in spirit and then she passed, they're definitely together, and they show me that they're very much at peace and they're very much together. So I do sympathize with your loss. If you have any questions for me regarding this, please reach out, let me know. Go ahead and shoot me an email. Hopefully something in here resonates for you. I still feel like we didn't get a ton of information for you, but I do feel like she's coming through to you more in dreams, or that she's showing like different signs. It could be through music. It could be something that's a sudden like inside jokes. My family that's on the other side will come through in weird ways, like inside jokes, pieces of music. It's going to be something that's significant to you. So don't dismiss those things. I feel like it's really important that when spirit shows us signs, that we acknowledge those and that we use gratitude. So if you do notice something that's like, oh my gosh, that's my mom all day long showing me that, acknowledge that, say thank you, they'll show you more. As you start to process through your grief, know that they will start to come forward more often in those ways that you're comfortable with. And if it's something really specific that you need them to show you, ask them. They can still hear you. Sometimes if we give them real specific parameters, it's harder for them to show us those things. So be open to different ways of getting the information. That's one of the things that can be a bit of a challenge. So I like to tell people, just be open to how they show it to you. It may not come in the box that you're looking for, but they will find a way to communicate to you that they're still with you. And so even though energetically they're always with us, physically we can't always recognize that. So being open to that is really kind of one of the keys for letting spirit come talk to you or to come visit you. They may leave you feathers in your path. They might leave you coins. It might be music. It might be something that you lost that all of a sudden you find in a random place. they have many ways of communicating with us. So the key is really to open your heart to it and to energetically operate in a place of love. So those are the things that I have learned over the last several years of doing this, that in order to really have spirit connect, we have to first be open and be willing to meet them kind of halfway, because again, spirit is at a very high vibration and we're much lower, so we have to sometimes meditate or really be mindful of our energy in order to connect to them. So I wish you the best in your healing journey. Thank you for allowing me to give you a reading a second try, and I do hope that something resonates for you, and I hope that your healing goes smoothly. Have a great rest of your day.